Hello, good evening, guys. I hope my voice is audible to you properly. Just give a little heads up so that I can get to know that whether my voice is audible or not. Yeah. Good evening, guys. Good evening. Hi. Hello, guys. Good evening. Yes, I'm audible. All right. Thanks for the heads up. My voice is audible. Yeah. All right, guys. We will start in a few minutes. Let's just wait for 2 to 3 minutes more and then we'll proceed further with today's class. A good day, guys. Good day. Have a good day. Till the time you guys can side by side open up your Kali Linux or you can say your terminals in the Kali Linux so that we can learn commands today. We can discuss about them and we can proceed with that. Good evening, Srijan. Good evening, Ramesh. Good evening, guys. Okay. Thank you, Asharbad. Nice to know that you. Good evening. Good evening, guys. I hope you all are doing well, guys. And yesterday's session was a little bit worthy about knowing foreign maps and how you can use it for scanning and stuff. I guess that was worth it. Good evening, Mehak. Good evening. Yeah, just give me a second. Yeah, we'll proceed. Oh, why are you asking that personal question, Lakshmi? That's really personal. And this question is really personal. Why this question, Lakshmi? Guys, don't ask such questions. Um, all right, guys. Let me share my screen side by side so that we can understand about today's agenda. Guys, is my screen visible to you all? Hello. Hello, John. Hello. Hi, good evening, Kamal. Yes, and it's visible. All right. Good to know, guys. It's visible. Yeah. All right. So, welcome to all of you on the second day of our bootcamp session, guys. And we'll be covering up today. For the today's agenda, you can say we are going to cover up some basic commands of Nmap, that how you can just do the normal things in the normal. Oh, that's a vulgar thing that you have mentioned, Lakshmi. That doesn't make sense a lot. Let me increase the size, guys. Well, yesterday's attendance, please help to give me certificate. Three lectures were attended yesterday's lectures all about setup and basics. Yeah, it was all about the setup and basics, but I couldn't help you with this thing that how shall I tell you this? Let's say you'll have to attend all the sessions, guys, and I have already mentioned that without 100% of attendance, you won't be getting any certificate regarding that. So I'm sorry for that. I can't help you in that case. And guys, the today's agenda is going to be all about, you can say, the basic commands about Nmap, how you can scan things or how you can gather information. What is IP config or IF config? What should you be using in Kali Linux if you're using it for getting the IP address of your own system? And then comes up the scanning part, like how you can scan a particular network or a domain or a system. So that is all what we are going to cover up, and what command of Nmap is being used for what purposes. We're going to cover that as well. So side by side, it would be better if you guys would set up your Kali Linux alongside so that you can see and practice it along. Yeah, I would suggest you to just have your Kali Linux side by side open up and practice those commands that we are doing. And also note it down. I'll share the notes as well with the team later or sooner. So for that, in that case, you just have to see from those notes as well as we only use Zenmap for everything, or we need to compulsorily look. If you're getting into cybersecurity, then I would suggest you to get Kali Linux using VMware, because most of the tools that you are gonna be using in future is all are on Kali Linux that are automated or something like that. So that's gonna be really good. So for Zenmap, I need a certificate of this. I am MSc student in cybersecurity. I have make my resume strong. Hipstry, but I can't help you much about it. So you have to ask the team for that better way. Surgeon, I would suggest you to go get a Kali Linux using VM or virtual Oracle box so that you that can help you in future as well. Okay. So let's start, guys. First of all, if you want to know an IP address of your own system, which command are you going to use? Does any one of you have any idea about it, or shall I tell you and shall you directly about that? So just do let me know if you know, and if you do not know that, then do mention that as well so that we can proceed, and I can tell you the command that you can use for getting your system's IP address. Mm-hmm. Viraj, that's not correct. Yeah, I'm starting the class, Ramesh. The class has already been started. No, not IPA, IF config. Yeah, Karan, that's absolutely right. IF config is one of the command guys that you can get to know to check your IP address of the system. Let's say if I have mentioned IF config, and then I'll be able to see the particular IP address. You can see over here. Where did it went? Yeah. This is the IP address that you can see that is for innet, and then comes up for the another one is this as well. So you can get to know that this is the particular IP address of your system, and that's going to help you to gather information regarding the IP address. After that, if you wanted to scan, let's say if you wanted to scan a particular website or a domain or something like that, how you're gonna get IP address rather than directly hopping on guys to check the details of the IP address. What you can do in some cases, this is one of the shortcut trick that I have learned to gather information regarding the IP address of a particular domain. Let's say I wanted to know about flipkart.com. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do ping, and then I'm gonna mention flipkart.com, and as soon as I'm gonna do pinging of the flipkart.com, I'm gonna get the IP address. You can see I got the IP address of a particular domain name, that is flipkart.com, and from here I can simply proceed further. Then I'm simply gonna just directly gonna copy paste this IP address and gonna proceed further with simply mentioning all of the stuff. Like let's say if I wanted to do the nmap of a particular IP address that I have got, let's say I wanted to do it for flipkart.com, which is basically 163.53.76.86. That is a particular IP address of a Flipkart. So I wanted to look for that. So just checking the normal, you can say just scanning the normal domain. What command you're gonna use is you're gonna use Nmap and then just simply giving the IP address. So let me mention that on my Kali Dropbox as well, guys, so that you can later on see it and find it as well. Just give me a second, yeah. Over here, we will be moving on. I'll be sharing these screenshots from this Excali draw as well in the notes section, guys, so that you can later on understand and read these all. So over here, if you're looking for the normal scanning, then you can just go Nmap and the IP address. Let's mention the IP address. So this is what the number one command is, and this is for the, you can say, normal scanning. So for the normal scanning, you can just use it this way. And what I'm going to show you with it, I don't understand the results comes from ping command. Ping command history, you can say ping command basically gives you the information regarding what that is. Yeah, that is basically all about, you can say, that whether the data is being intercepted from one end to another end or not. Ping gives you that yes, ICMP sequential is giving. It is taking this much milliseconds or this much seconds to gather and check whether the internet connectivity to that particular domain is valid or not. So that means you can see whether that the data is being intercepted from one system to another system. Pinging is for that use. Is that clear? I guess that makes sense and is pretty clear to you guys that what is the usage of ping and what results and outcomes are going to be out coming out from that. Is it clear? Yes or no, guys? Yeah, it means it checks the connectivity, whether it is connected to the internet or not. If it is not, then it won't be giving you the stuff or the outcomes like ICMP, sequential TTL, and the time period. So it's not going to give and provide that. So let's say now I'm going to scan the IP address basically for the Flipkart.com as I have already copied it. So I'm going to do Nmap and then just going to paste it over here. As you can see, I have done it. Let's wait for 2 seconds and it's going to start. You can see it have started already and now it's going to show us the results regarding that particular outcome or whatever the information it would have for it. I ping in Kali next, but packets isn't stopping. So you can just you can just use Control C for that so that your packets would stop. Jitu got it? So that is what you can do. You can just use Control C and your packets would stop coming from there. You can see, guys, we have got the results out of it for as soon as we done the network mapping scanning of the particular IP address of Flipkart.com. What are the results that we are getting is you can see the host is up. It shows the host is up, and the Nmap scan report shows there are 998 filtered TCP ports, and this won't be showing us the response of it. And after that, you can see over there there is 80 port number, that is the service it is using is HTTP, and the 443 is using the TCP number as HTTPS. So these are the ports which are in a open state. Guys, there are two things we have to discuss as well for the open and the closed states and the filtered states as well. We are gonna cover up that as well. For now, just understand these are the ports which can be bypassed if they are opened up. So that is what it is actually. So you have to understand if the state of a port is open or closed or filtered. That is also necessary for you guys. So just understand that how it's gonna work. Is that clear, guys? Just give a quick heads up so that we can move on to the next command and understand what else we can do with the help of this. Just give a quick yes or no, guys. Yes, yes. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. So if it is clear, then we can move further and we can discuss more about it. So we'll move on further and let me show you the list that I have created for my defensive security and Nmap commands. You can then see there is one command that is nmap sn, and then you're going to use the IP address. That means you are disabling the port scan. You don't want it to look for the port scans. Just give me a second, guys. Yeah. So basically, if you wanted to disable the port scanning, that means if you don't want to look for the ports, which ports are open, which ports are closed, if you don't want to look for that, then you can just simply use the command nmap and then give flag as sn and the IP address, and that's gonna help you. Can you use nmap to close the what? Your question? I didn't got your question. Close an open port. What is the XP and how to buy that? Oh, I don't got your question. What is XP? Like XPs, if in what particular sense you're asking, Lakshmi, I don't know. And Ambrose, you cannot close an open port using the nmap. You cannot. That's the task of a backend. So you cannot do that basically. So over here you can see nmap hyphen sn, and then you're just gonna give the IP address that you have copy pasted earlier, or that you have already some IP address that you are testing on. So in that case, you just have to do and just click on nmap and then hyphen sorry, sn. Sn is the basic flag, guys. Let me mention it as well, so that in the later stage when I'll be sharing these notes with you, you guys won't get confused for this. Okay. Nmap flag sn. uh, SN and then the IP address. So over here, SN is basically, you can say, the SN flag that we are using is for disabling the port of, disabling the port scan basically. And disable the port scan, let's say if we are actually YouTube fan base XP. Oh, got it, Jitu. So Nmap is something that does the process, whereas Kali Linux is the interface we do it with. Yeah, you can say that. That is what I mentioned in the yesterday's class, and that's why I said that why actually this is important. You can say that why theoretical things are important. If you don't know the theoretical part, you won't be able to understand that what practical things you are learning. So that's why I mentioned everything in that key theoretical you should be knowing. Yeah, notes will be provided. I will give it to the team with the screenshots that whatever you have learned and everything, so that you can understand. Uh, Guys, I have already mentioned in the yesterday class, don't mention about the link of attendance till the 7:50. So please do not mention it again. Through what means can you close an open port? That is basically a target of an backend Ambrose. That's not in my hand, and that's not in the hands of a hacker or an ethical hacker if you're learning about it. So basically, you just have to understand that how you can disable the port scans. If you have disabled the port scan, then just one thing you have to do is you won't be able to see, and I'm going to show you the practical as well. For that, you can just see that I have mentioned this command and I'm going to enter it, and as soon as I did, you can see they have this time they didn't showed us the port scan. They disabled the port scanning, and I'm not able to see any of the ports available here. I'm just able to see that there is this host is actually up, and the nmap done for is one IP address, and that is done in 0.23 seconds. So this is what all about it. So that is how disabling the port scan means, and that's how you can actually, if let's say if you just wanted to see the services working on a particular target, then you can just give nmap sp and remove the port scanning using the sn command. So that's how basically you can do it. And which IP address you use? Um, which IP address I'm using, Anuradha? I'm using the IP address of a random website just for a testing and just for a practical in case. I'm not using any specific IP address right now. Let's say I'm not doing any labs. If I'm doing any labs, I would be using the labs IP address to check what things are happening and how things are happening. how things are happening. So uh, thank you so much, team, for mentioning this in the comment section, because there are so many comments that are actually vulgar coming up in recently. So no, thank you so much for your help in between. So yeah, you can see guys over here, there are several things that you can do it for. After that, one another thing that you can do for, like if you wanted to get to know about the services that it is using, this is Flipkart. Yeah, this is the Flipkart's IP address, because we are basically using Flipkart as a SN for disabling scan of network port. Exactly, Jitu Shah. We are basically disabling the scans of a network ports, that which ports are available and which ports we are using. So you can just remove it out from there. You can just use SN. SN is a flag that you are using to disable the port scanning. So if you now wanted to see the services that this particular IP address is using, or so what you can do in that case is you can just use SV command. V is for version, basically, guys. As we mentioned, that Nmap IP address is basically for the normal IP scan that we have already mentioned. But how can we know this is original or not? You can check it with the active reconnaissance. As this particular boot camp is all about Nmap and enumeration with Nmap, guys. That's why I'm not getting on to the, you can say, passive reconnaissance. But to know about the IP address, that whether it is correct or not, what you can do is you can just check through passive reconnaissance to look after these. You can use several tools. Okay, let me just show a little glimpse of the passive reconnaissance as well to you guys, so that you won't get confused in that case. For guys, for passive reconnaissance, what tools you can use basically? Yeah, we are doing active footprinting right now. So if for the passive reconnaissance or passive footprinting, what tools you can use? You can use who is lookup, lookup domain, and another tool that you can use is Netcraft. Originally, you can use these two tools to get the information regarding the IP addresses or the information regarding that. As well as what you can do is you can also go on here only and do what is, you can just do who is, and then mention the domain name. Like you're getting the information on Kali Linux. Also, you can use who is in order to get the information regarding that particular domain. So just mention who is over there, and then what you can do is you can just use the IP address. Oh, sorry, not the IP address, just the domain name. Let's say we are looking for flipkart.com, so I'm just gonna mention that flipkart.com only. Oops, sorry guys. Yeah. So just after putting it, you can see a lot of information pops up over here. You can see over here. This is mentioning the domain name, registry domain name, then registrar URL, updated date, creation date, and a lot of stuff all around here. So in that case, you might be able to see in this particular thing, it is not popping us up with the IP address. So what you can just simply go and do is you can do the passive reconnaissance. And in the case of one in Google Docking for passive footprinting, exactly, yeah, you can do that as well. But in the but Google Docking won't help you with the IP address. In most of the cases, it won't. If you're specifying something with the advanced search operator for, you can say, for IP addressing, then it might help you. But Google Docking would get you another sensitive information more than the Alright, so let's just see who is lookup. We'll try to get the information from the who is lookup first, who is .domaintools.com. And as soon as I click on this, this is the link, guys. I'm gonna put this link in the comment section as well, so that you can get to know about passive reconnaissance as well, side by side. Let me just get back to the, yeah, let me come back here and let me put it over here. And this is one of the tool, guys, that you can actually use it. I'm gonna put it over here. Yeah, you can see this. It is shown as well, so you can use it for the um, passive reconnaissance. You can just go over here, mention the domain name that you are looking for actually. Just give me a second. I'll show you actually how practical thing you can do on this tool as well. Just give me a few minutes, a few seconds. Yeah. Okay. Over here, you're gonna be popping up and writing whatever the IP, whatever the you can say. What do we say, domain name, or you can set the target you're looking for. Let's say I'm looking for Flipkart right now. So I'm just going to mention flipkart.com. And as soon as I click on flipkart.com and click on search, it's going to ask me to verify myself as human, first of all. Jo ki main, guys, I have been doing it since so long, like so long till since I am in this field. I am just validating that I'm human. I don't know why they didn't know that I'm human from this long. That's normal. So I can't help in that case. Just give it a second, guys. Who is domain basically gets you information about the IP, but basically about the all the information regarding the domain name. Let's what is the registrar, on which particular registrar it is registered. Domain is actually an IP. How you can mention that domain name is actually an IP address? Domain name domain name have an IP address is something different, guys. But domain name is actually an IP address doesn't make sense. Guys, I have already used, I'm already using a good thing. Brief information about domain. Jitu, domain is something like if you are using a website, the website's name is actually domain, considered as domain. So that is what domain is. And domain name is like a particular fulfilling of the name of that particular domain is domain name. That is it. That's nothing different. And domain name is directing to an IP address. Yeah, domains are actually provided with some sort of IP address, guys. Let's say if I have my own website, if I say I have something created as this name or something like that, it's a network problem from your side. Guys, I have my network fully working on. I don't know why it is. I'm not showing anything. The screen is just stuck there only. I haven't scrolled up or done something, so that's why it is showing. Just might be that could be the reason that you are unable to see something. But so basically, guys, domain. If let's say if there is some website that I have actually. So in that case, what is it? That particular domain or that particular website is created and it will be provided with the IP address. And that IP address can be changed after some time if you wanted to, if your organization wanted to, if your Jitu, I have already given you information about domain. What is domain? Domain is basically the name of a particular website. That is all only known as the domain. I guess that makes sense and you understand now what is domain. Is it clear, guys? Rafat, why should we disable port? It's not necessary that you disable the ports. That is just an example that if you wanted to scan something without ports, you can scan it that way as well. That is just an example. It's not necessarily that you have to. Domain name is for human recognition, easy. Yes, exactly. Domain name is for human recognition and IP address is for machine understandable language. That's it. So now you can see over here, as guys, it was actually that I have to show you all that stuff. But yeah, you can see this is a passive reconnaissance. Scroll a little bit, please. Another question. What's your another question? I didn't get your another question, Jitu. Just give me a second. Let me see. SN for disabling scan port, network port. That is already I have answered. Let me know what I have. Domain name is actually an IP address. No, that is also answered. Uh, can you please mention the question again, Jitu? Because I am unable to see all the things over there. There are so many comments, so I cannot go and scroll through each and every question. So okay, could you please just mention it over here in the comment section once again? That would be helpful for me as well and for others as well. So guys, over here you can see this is the IP address mentioned over here. So there are different size. So for those different size, they have different. Can you say about subnet and subnet? Guys, this is not the topic of discussion about subnet and subnet masking. So I cannot mention it that way. Brief description of domain, I have already mentioned that question, that I have already answered that. So I don't think that is necessary for me to answer it again. You can see the recording if you skipped by chance. You can see the recording later on, guys. And you can see there is an IP address mentioned over here. For in some cases, guys, the IP address is a little bit different. And why so? Because in some of the cases, what happens is these are in the different localities. So if it is in Maharashtra, it might be popping up the IP address according to the locality of that. If it is in some other place, it might show up in that case. So what you are looking for, you have to specify that and understand which particular IP address you are scanning actually. So that's how you're going to understand how you're going to do passive reconnaissance. After doing this passive reconnaissance of getting to know who is record of a flipkart.com or any website that you're looking for, what you can do is you can look through their social media platforms. Either it could be LinkedIn, either it could be Instagram, or it could be, they can say what? It could be Twitter, Facebook, anything. So related to any website, you have to look each and everything. That is basically passive reconnaissance. So now we are heading towards the active reconnaissance, and we were discussing about it only. So what we have mentioned is Nmap. Nmap, we have covered two commands that for the normal IP address scanning. We have discussed you can just mention Nmap and the IP address of that particular stuff. After that, what you can do is basically you can just move on further, and to disable the port scanning you can just go ahead and remove the nmap, and then you just mention the flag sn, and in that sn you can just sn is going to remove each and every port scanning for that. After that, another thing that you can do, or another command that you can use for scanning stuff, that is going to be these are for ARP pinging scanning, guys. What is ARP? Address resolution protocol. So if you guys know a little bit about ARP pinging scanning, that you can understand how you can scan using this using the nmap, then the TCP SYN pinging scan. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of this as well. But if you wanted to get each and every detail about nmap and PS scanning, so what you're going to do in that case is you can just going to use this nmap PSSN. That means you wanted to disable the port scanning, but you wanted to look each and every detail, like scan the whole network. Then you're going to use this. IP config is for Windows. Yes, Sumit. IP config is for Windows. IF config is for Kali Linux. So if you wanted to just see the whole, scan the whole network, then you're just gonna use Nmap and then PS and then SN. SN is just removing each and every stuff over there. So that is what you can do over here. Let's see Nmap PS and how it's gonna react. Let's say, I guess this is the correct thing. Yeah, PS and then SN, and then you can just give the IP address. Oops, sorry. I have copy pasted it from earlier now. Let me copy paste the IP address once again, guys. Yeah. And then you just copy paste over here and enter. Let's see what it shows up. You can see this doesn't pops up much of the information because we have disabled the port. So if I remove the disabling of the port scanning and see what's gonna happen up and show. Let's wait for a little bit of time because Nmap takes a little time to show the results and the outcomes. Yeah, it shows the same thing, guys, as earlier because we wanted to look for each and every detail that comes up in front of us. So it's gonna show up each and everything that is popping up over here. So that's how you can use the Nmap. Then we are gonna understand for tomorrow's session. I guess we are gonna discuss about how you can ping scan, how you can do the ping scan, how you can scan a range of an IP addresses, and after that we are also going to understand port scanning. We are going to mention each and every ports of the scan, like how we are basically mentioning each and every ports, and we are giving the port numbers. We are going to give a ranges, so we are going to cover up that in tomorrow's session, and also the ICMP ping scanning, TCP scans, and then we are going to cover up the like the basic things for TCP full scan and that all the stuff we are going to cover up tomorrow. For today's, you can just understand a little basic, that is default port scan. I'm going to give Nmap and the target, that is the default port scanning. As I have already mentioned that basically what happens is it scans around 1,000 ports in you can say in default scanning. In default scanning, it's gonna cover up only first thousand port scans, not you can say more than that. But as we know that there are 6,536 or 35 ports actually, from 0 to 6,535 ports. So it's not going to cover up all those 65, 35 ports, but it's going to cover up only the first 1,000 ports for the default scanning. But in case of the specific common ports, if you're looking for some specific port numbers, so what you're going to do is, can you say fundamental difference between scanning and enumeration? Scanning is basically that you are scanning through each and everything, but enumeration is something you are trying to give specific mentions and understanding how you're enumerating and gathering information using scanning. So this is the basic difference between scanning and enumeration. So if you are mentioning specific common ports, let's say it wanted to look for 44321 and something like that. So we are going to use Nmap and P. Guys, P is for port scanning. That we are mentioning P is for port scanning. So P stands for port over here. The flag for the P is port. So what you can just do it, you can just create it in that way only. Let's say I wanted to look for Flipkart's port number 31, 21, 21, something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Nmap and then use a flag that is P. And after that, I'm just going to give the port number as something else. Let's say I wanted to search for 21, comma 35, comma mm, all right, let's say for 80, and then I'm going to give the IP address. Let's say this way. If a company's domain, just give me a second. Company's domain or VPN configuration exposes its real IP address. Does that materially increase the risk of compromise? Yes, yes. Actually, that increases the risk of the compromise. Thank you. You're welcome. Please hide the pinned messages. Okay, sure, sure. Let me do it. Sorry, guys, that I mentioned it for your sake, but I forgot to remove it once after that. Just let me remove it. So sorry for that. Where did it went? Hide current comment. Yeah. Is it fine by now, guys? Is it visible properly now? Create the session. I can't see what you. Yeah, I have removed it. So sorry for that, guys. That was actually my fault. I'm so sorry for that. Yeah. Oh, here you can see that. You can see I have mentioned Nmap P and then I'm looking for the port numbers over here. So that means I wanted these port numbers detail rather than something else that I'm actually getting. So I have specified the ports. So to look after the specification of the ports in the Nmap, you can just do this Nmap and then P and then you can just give up the flag for it and enter it over here. Consumer here. I have already removed that. From now you might be able to see. Look over here, guys. This is what I was discussing about. As soon as I specified the port numbers earlier from the earlier scan of a normal port scanning, we were not able to see these port numbers because they were filtered and we are not able to actually get the information out of it. We were just only getting two port numbers, that is 80 and 443, because they were open. But as soon as I mentioned the specification of the port numbers, we are actually able to see. We are actually able to see that. And now you can see this is filtered, and this we can see the services as well. So that is what you can understand and get to know, that how you are actually able to see the port number and which port number is specified. Define passive recon. Passive recon is something you can say that we are not directly interacting with the stuff or the target host. That means we are gathering information from the publicly available resources. So that is what passive reconnaissance is. And active reconnaissance is something that we are actually doing right now. So because you can say, oh, here, guys, I am able to see the filtered ports as well. So for specifying the ports, you can give the port numbers that I wanted to look for this port number, and then you'll be able to understand it. So this is one of the specifications that you can see with the help of it. And if you wanted to look for Filtered means that something is behind what? Behind the firewall, guys. That is why it is filtered, because you can't see it until and unless you specify it. As far as firewall, if you have it in specification, they have something behind the firewall, that simply means you cannot see it until and unless you specify it. So that is what filtered means. Closed ports are something, guys, which are totally closed and are not in use recently. But sometimes in some cases, what happens is, in some cases, closed ports might be relevantly of no use. They're closed by the organization, but they are giving some sort of information. Capital P is I haven't used capital P. That's a small P, Jitu, for, and the small p is basically to give the port details. Like you want a port number and you're specifying port scanning for. That is what small p is for. Capital P is for, we have already discussed that PS is to scan the all of the details about the particular domain host. Closed ports, basically, guys, in some cases, what happens now? There is one thing that in, let's say, if any organization have closed the port because, and why they have closed the port, because of one thing specifically, if we say they are not using any. Can you explain the state and the services? Yeah, I'm explaining that only. Why prefprint is something that service the organization is using on that IP address, guys. Okay, let me get back to the Excalibur and let me explain you what is actually, you can say. Um, Guys, I have created a whole course on Nmap for ethical hacking on Udemy. You can go and check my course on Udemy if you are much more interested in learning more deeper into this. Because this is a 4-day course and you might not be able to understand this. So you wanted, you can just go on a Udemy and search for my course for Nmap for ethical hacking. Like all hacking tools, and but ma'am, how can save for block other process? I didn't get your question. Classes 8813. Both half of port. Yeah, Anuradha, the both half of the ports. Guys, there is one thing that I have mentioned. Basically, what is it? Services, and that is state. Guys, state means that this port is in a particular state, that a port is open either, closed either, or filtered. These are the three states that we come across the state of the ports basically. So if we talk about the open port, that means it is in use. It is in use by the organization. That means organization is working on this port and this port is in an open state, and whatever is working, that is actually getting through that procedure. That means data is being intercepted through that particular port number. So that is what we basically mean or state by the open port. If open ports respond with service banners, can it be considered a security? Yeah, but it also matters that how much exposure of information is over there. In that case, that depends on the data that is being exposed. Then it would be considered as misconfiguration. In Android hacking piece for injecting payloads, is that true? Yes, exactly, that is true. So open is for, guys, basically that whether the port is open or closed, and then comes up as the closed port. Closed is something that means the data is not being intercepted from that particular port, and the organization is not actually using the port for services. But in some cases, what happens is that the organization forget to remove that port from their system or domain, and in that case what happens is, in that case, they, as soon as they forget in that the port is no more in use, but the port might have some sensitive information, and that can lead to a misconfiguration or a sensitive exposure to detail. Getting my point, guys, that how in a closed port can lead to a little bit of identity exposure, sensitive data exposure. How do I keep all the hacking tools in my laptop so that they don't block the processes? You can keep it in your basically that. What do we say, guys? In Kali Linux or virtual machine, so that it won't block all of the processes, guys. Getting my point? Then comes up as the filtered ports. Filtered port, guys. A filtered port simply means that if the, oh, sorry, if the port is behind the firewall, that that means you won't be able to see until and unless you specify the port, because in that specific case, what happens is, in that specific case, that it shows that that particular stuff is important and that is kept behind the firewall. That means this might have some sort of things going on which are important to the organization. So that is what port behind the firewall means. And that is what filtered port actually states. So then coming up is the you can say services. That means that particular port is using what services, or the organization have created that particular port for what sort of services. Let's say if there is some Apache services going on, and on which particular port it would be going, that depends on that thing. That if Apache is being used and which particular port it is being used. Apache is a service, guys, but which port it is using, that is gonna be mentioned over here. So this is how services work, and that's why knowing about the services is important. Because let's take an example. Let's say, if a target is behind a VPN or a proxy, can port scanning still reveal real open ports or internal host, or it will only show the VPN gateway? In some cases it shows you the VPN gateway ports, and in some cases it might, if the VPN is not configured properly, it may show you a detail regarding the real open ports. So, guys, let's take an example for open ports in the services. Let's say if there is some services which are being used by the organization, like Apache or something like that. In that particular case, what's going to happen is, actually, in that particular case, there is one thing that's going to happen, that seems to be open. The port is open, and the version they are using for that service is actually outdated, and the publicly available exploit is there for that particular port number. So that, give me the site link for practice. I don't know your name who have asked the site link for the practice. You can use Try Hack Me for the practice, you can use Hack the Box for practice, and you can use Pico CTF challenges for the practice. You can use Portswigger Lab Academy for the practice. You can use so many websites for the practice. Basically, for now, if you wanted to get more information about Nmap and stuff, you can then go ahead with Try Hack Me and Hack the Box. For now, as of now, and as soon as you get a hold of it, then you can go for the Portswigger Lab Academy. Share the link for your account where you have prepared the course. That is basically on Udemy. You can just ping me on a LinkedIn. I'll share there. Or you can also see see a little bit of information regarding Nmap, and you can say the topic information on my YouTube channel as well there. You can see over there as well, guys. Port is using what services. So that is what basically all the information about services and versions. We'll discuss about the version, you can say. We'll discuss about the version for in tomorrow's class, that how you can actually get to know about the version of that particular service that is being used. Try Hack Me and Hack the Box requires money. There are free courses as well, John. You can use that. Free courses. There are several free courses like that you can actually understand without paying them the money. So, guys, let me share you the link for attendance. And there is one request: as soon as I share the attendance link with you guys, do not spam the comment section and fill the attendance sheet. After filling the attendance sheet, you guys can ask your question, ask your doubts in that particularly. So, let me share the attendance link by you, and let me share the screen sharing as well. Let me just do it. Where did it went on? Yeah, let me share the link for the attendance. Here we go, guys. I am sharing the link. Yeah, and now you can see the link. And ma'am, and then please share your study roadmap so that we can learn from your experience. Sure, I'll do it on the last day, guys. For now, you just fill up the form and do not spam the comment section so that you can easily fill up the attendance sheet and won't delay your procedure in that. Just go ahead and be quick with it. And as soon as you are done, you can just ping me in the comment section and let me know your doubts so that I can sort it. I'll also drop my LinkedIn profile with you guys so that you can connect with me if you have any doubts further on related to cybersecurity. You can ask me. Yeah, I'll give you just a second. You can just ping me in my LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I'll share it with you. I don't know your name. Who is asking about the course in Udemy? I'll share it with you. The link for that. You can just ping me on my LinkedIn. I'll share my LinkedIn profile later on with you. You can just connect me over there and I'll share with you. Yeah, I'm gonna share that. Just let others fill up the LinkedIn form for attendance form first, then I'll share it with you. Guys, just do let me know once you are done with the attendance so that I can ask I can clear your doubts. Filtered port is important actually because from there you get to know that what is basically working behind the firewalls. Good to know, guys, that you are done with attendance. Nice. Let's other as well answer once so that we can just move further. Done, 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 done. Okay, okay, good to know. All right. Any doubts, guys? Then you can mention your doubts over here so that I can resolve your doubts and answer you. And here we go with my LinkedIn profile as well. I need to you that Isha's class really helps. What do you mean, Dipesh? It's little confusing. I didn't got your question. You're welcome, Ambrose. You're welcome. Any doubts, guys? Then come up with your doubts as quick as possible so that we can wrap up the class for today's session. Just be quick with your doubts. So when are we going to do fishing and creating fishing? We have already we are already done with the phishing session earlier. We have discussed phishing emails and stuff like that. Email security, we have already covered up that. How to run scripts in Nmap, we are going to cover that as well in tomorrow's and the day after tomorrow's class, Viraj. Yeah, you can go ahead with the question, John. Just go ahead and do it. Ma'am, can you please summarize today's session? Today's session is all about how you can disable the port scanning, how you can scan, you can do the default port scanning using Nmap, and how you can actually check the services what are being used. You can we understood about the open ports, closed ports, and filter ports. So that was the today's summary. I mean that your class really helped. Oh, thank you so much, Dipesh. That means a lot to me. Thank you. You're welcome, Carol. That Okay. I think I'm getting a lots of lots of requests on my mobile phone. That's my phone is pinging constantly. Attendance, Mr. Shantanu Estarkar. That's already, I have shared the link, so you have to fill it there. Are we going to be given any assignments or projects to do like that for last time? Yeah, we will be given. John, we will be given. Ma'am, in Wi-Fi hacking, VLAN not support in Kali Linux. Yeah, in some cases it doesn't. So what you can do is you can just use ETH0 basically, and you can work along with the aircrack ng for Wi-Fi hacking. What are filter ports? Filter ports are something that means which are behind the firewall, basically, that you cannot see easily without specifying the ports. For what, sorry, I didn't got to you, Denito, that you have mentioned sorry. So for what basically you are saying sorry? Guys, be quick with your questions because the time is running so quick and we have to wrap up the session. If you won't have, we'll be wrapping it up early. If you, my answer, Jitu, I have already said you mentioned the question once again because I didn't get to you. Do you have live classes online? You can ask me in the LinkedIn Ambers. I'll answer you there. Just go ahead and send the request on my LinkedIn profile. I'll answer you there. Jitu, please mention the question once again because I am so sorry because I can't see your question. Another than the domain that you have mentioned, I have already answered that. And another thing related to that is, ma'am, does AI server a server role in cybersecurity? How can we use AI? Yeah, it plays a real huge role in cybersecurity. You can create tools related to AI and generative cybersecurities as well. You can create you can create your reports. You can be a script kiddie as well for that. You can do that. Thank you so much, ma'am. The way you explain things is all very excellent. You're welcome, Piyush, and means a lot to me for your appreciation. I guess, Mayank, this sorts your question that I have. You have told AI serve a role in cyber. AI plays a huge role in cybersecurity these days, though. Do you have any classes apart from this? This question you can ask me on the LinkedIn, John. I'll answer you there. Anything else, guys? Any other questions that you wanted to ask apart from all these? You can ask. Jitu, please mention your question. I'm really waiting for your question. How will we be using these open ports to exploit the system? If let's say, let's take an example, Vansh. If I say and mention that there is one particular port open and it have the services, let's say it's not only the HTTP or HTTPS, it's something else other than that, and that particular service have a public exploit because the version of that is not updated and it is outdated somehow, so we can use it publicly exploit and exploiting the system and getting inside of that system, and I think this makes sense to answer your question. Your roadmap, my roadmap is actually, first of all, I learned the basic fundamentals of cybersecurity, ethical hacking, and then I move on to the networking, and after learning for the networking I learned the web app pen testing and the coding language a little bit for scripting and stuff, and then I went on to the path of offensive security because I'm a major in offensive security rather than the defensive security. Then I learned about the tools as well side by side. So that is what we can actually do. Manohar, actually, to be very honest, I guess why not your answer? My roadmap is pretty clear to you, and I have mentioned for ethical hacking course, I have created one CEH playlist on my YouTube channel, Manohar. You can go over there and see that. That is totally related to ethical hacking, a full course. You can start study from basics to till the end. I have mentioned each and everything related to ethical hacking, like how you can use Nmap, how you can use stalking, banner grabbing. Everything is mentioned over there. You can just go over to my YouTube channel and just learn from there if you wanted to. Anything else, guys? Any other questions? Okay. My phone is pinging constantly, guys. Seems like so many requests I have got today as well. Any question else, guys? You can ask me. Be quick with your questions because it's already 8 o'clock. I'm uh I'm ready to answer you still. Just go ahead. Can you say, yeah, I'll share the link. Just wait a second, guys. I'll share the link side by side with you. Yeah, I sent, yeah, I'll accept that. I'll accept that, guys. Is it easy to monitor and log incoming? Okay, just give me a second, guys. Just give me a second. I have shared the link as well for that. Just give me a second. Is it easy to monitor and log incoming and outgoing traffic along with those requests denied by Fiverr? Yes, you can, but you have to be very relevant with what you're trying to do, Mayank, and you can use timestamping for that, so that it wouldn't be denied by the firewall as well. You're welcome, Kaushlesh. An open port tied to a suspicious service shows anomalous connection patterns. Should we treat this as a potential active compromise and immediately begin containment and forensic triage? Yeah, you should be, because it could be active compromise, and there could be so many things that are at stake. So you have to begin containment as soon as possible and as quick as possible. I've shared the link for my YouTube channel, guys. I guess that you might have received it already. Your chart is not visible, guy. Jitu, I didn't got your question yet. I didn't got your question yet. I have been waiting so long for your question, but I didn't got your. Uh, to absolutely welcome Manohar. You guys, if you have any questions, guys, you can just go ahead and ask more of your questions. I'll be really glad to solve your problem because I'm asking many times, maybe isn't showing with all. Yeah, I didn't saw your question. If I would have, I have answered each and every question. Thank you so much. Thank you for such an insightful. You're welcome, Mayank. That's absolutely fine. Okay. You're welcome. Thank you so much, Danita. That means a lot. That means a lot. Jitu, you can just mention your question to me on LinkedIn. I'll answer there as well. No worries. If you're not able to mention your question over here, I'll answer your question on LinkedIn. You can just mention your question there. Thank you so much, Manohar. That means a lot. Any other questions, guys, or shall we end the session here today? You're welcome. You're welcome, guys. Any other questions, guys? Seems like there are no more questions. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. Thank you, ma'am, for a great session and I learned from you. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. All right, guys, then I will see you tomorrow and we'll discuss more about Nmap and how you can use Nmap for scripting and stuff. We'll discuss a lot more stuff tomorrow. See you tomorrow, guys. Have a good day and have a good night. Take care. Bye bye. Okay.